everyone, I thought it would be really fun to have a go at doing the items on this page. This is from Rooms of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and this is a page I've sort of had my eye on since I got the book, really, thinking it would make a nice little series. I just haven't got around to doing it, so here we go. I also want to just start with a little bit of an apology. The Lost Property Office videos, the last couple, they may or may not have gone out yet. I can't actually remember timings wise, but I was really quite stressed actually when I was making them, so I'm not sure that they were quite as good as cheery, and maybe they might have been a bit rushed as well. So those two and the review of the Fluffballs book in French, I had an appointment that day and I was really worried about it. I'm going to grab some colours while I'm talking. I'm going to use blues, Castle Arts pencils I've got today. I had an appointment, I was really nervous, but unfortunately all was well. It was going to use the Prussian blue and do a stripe of Prussian blue through the top. Yeah, it was another eye appointment. I'd had one before where I was getting flashing in my eye, and then I'm trying to leave it a little bit lighter in the middle. I think, yeah, if we make the clothes a little bit darker on the edge, I think it might just help to give them a little bit of shape. Yeah, and the flashing in the eye, that was all tested and it was fine. But then I was getting extra floaters in my eyes, and apparently they say that can, if you get that, it can be a sign of, I've got a dirty pencil on, a fluff on there, a sign of a detached retina. So I was really nervous, and I managed to get an appointment and it was all checked out and it was all fine. But I was getting really scared about it, and so when I was recording those videos I did it to distract myself, but I feel like I might have been a little bit rushed and nervous and just not like my normal self. But anyway, hopefully they were still okay. But I've put them out because obviously you need the last two of the series and the book review. It's a cute book. I just really rushed a picture from the book because my husband arrived home and I thought he'd need help with unpacking the shopping, so I sort of rushed that for that reason too. This is quite a strange dress, isn't it, to have a stripy top and then a plain skirt, but that's okay. We'll do it, and let's see how it turns out. My children are back at college today. It's the first day back after their half term. For most kids it's the first day of half term, but I'm interested. They're only in this morning, so I've got straight to it. As soon as my husband left for work, I've come straight to record a few videos because this afternoon my one son might need this room because on a Monday afternoon one of my boys live streams and the other one tries to do his homework, and obviously it's distracting. So he sometimes comes in here to work. I'm not sure he will, because I think he's doing some programming which I'm not sure he can do in here on his laptop. He might have to use his main computer, but we'll see. I just want to make the room available for him if he needs it, because it's important for him to obviously study, and might find out what results they get for their in fact, it's just after 9. They might have had them already. Their class, I think their class starts at 9. It's a bit early. They might still be handing them out. Give them a few minutes. Okay, I'm just looking. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to put this pencil down. I'm thinking I'm going to go quite lighter with my other stripe. And I'm looking at this cerulean blue light. It's not really pale, but I think it might contrast nicely with this, and it might make a pretty looking light skirt. That's my thought. I'm not really one for wearing dresses. I used to have a few. When I first met my husband I had a few dresses. He used to like me in a dress, really short skirt. Didn't care about showing my knickers or anything like that. I was young. Grr. Now I have a bit more, you know, I'm a bit older. I feel that people don't really want to see me in a short skirt. I don't like really long skirts though. I prefer a skirt that just comes just above the knee, really, but not like a real mini skirt. My husband loves me in a tiny, tiny skirt, but he doesn't think how old I am. I'm not a little girl anymore. You know, so anyway, this is a bit tricky. I'm trying to make it look rounded as if there might be like an arm in the sleeve. So then I have to make it as if this is slightly separate. So put it quite dark here and fade it towards the middle. I know they're clothes and they could just be laid out and people aren't wearing them. We haven't got, but I think it gets nice to add a little bit of shape as we go. And it's quite straightforward to just fade the colour to the middle. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just keep it a bit lighter. And you could use several shades of colour on the to really emphasise this different shape. But I think it's quite nice keeping it easy and simple, and it still looks nice and colourful. Now, as I said, I quite like the idea of the skirt being quite light, but it's this colour obviously. Let's just fill in that gap. Oh, we've missed that bit. Let's just grab our Prussian blue, whoops, and do that bit. I thought it was part of the bow, but it isn't. It needs to be a little bit lighter because it's in the centre. There we go. That'll do nicely. Now the skirt, so I'm going to go use the blue to do all over the skirt in a light layer just to start with, and then I shall sort of have a think. I haven't really coloured skirts before. We've got these sort of dots and lines, and I'm wondering whether we need to make those a little bit darker as if they're gathers in the fabric. It depends what the skirt's made of really, how deep or dark that might be. Or an alternative thought is to make it all quite dark and then go over these in a white pen to make it look like it's a little bit of stitching of some sort. But I think we won't do that way, because I'm not sure if this particular shade of blue is bleed proof in the castle. Some of them aren't, and the white would just go pink or blue. Right, I'm going to go over that a bit darker. I think that's too light. I was thinking it would be nice and pale, but now I've changed my mind. So I'm going to do it about that intensity, so it sort of matches up with the top really. I think it makes more sense. I don't know what I was thinking. Never mind. Also, it'll give me the chance to tidy it up a little bit and just try and even it out. There we go. Now I think I'll do it slightly darker on the edges and then just fade that in a bit. I'm not sure why I'm thinking this. I'm thinking if you were wearing it, this bit would be sort of wrapped round a little bit, so it might be slightly shadowy. That's what I'm thinking. Like that, and just fade it in. And then just tidying up that waistband where it's a bit messy, and then maybe just going over these with a darker pressure, harder pressure, more layers, to just make it look like they're little creases. I think that's how we'll do it. There we go. Now let's have a look back at the screen. That's okay, it's a little bit messy down here. Just tidy up a little bit. I feel like this is a bit pale, but maybe we'll do this. Take some of these creases through a bit further, just to add some interest in the dress. I feel I need to go to the edge a bit more here. When I look in the camera I can see a bit better what I've missed. I don't know why. It's a much smaller view, I'm just going to tidy up along here really carefully. I don't want it to look like there's a little line along the bottom, but on the other hand, it's a bit messy. There we go. Now our bow. Now I'm thinking you don't have to do what I'm doing, that, excuse me, a red bow might just stand out on this sort of outfit and work. But you might think, no, 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 what on earth are you thinking? But that's what I'm going to do. And you can decide. You don't have to copy me. Oh, this is a slightly pinky red. This is the cadmium red. And that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to need it a little bit sharper. Now I want the bow to look like it's slightly silky. Sorry, the page likes to curl up. There we go. So I'm going to go all over it with a very light layer of the cadmium red to start with, just to get us going, like that. Then we think about where is it going to be darker. Let's do this little piece in the middle, the little knot. It's going to be darker at the bottom. I'm going to start to fade it and then put a little bit at the top. It's got a little bit in the middle that's left that looks like shine. Now these pieces here, there would be some shadow in there, so I'm doing it a bit darker. And then here I'm going to do a piece there on the edge and leave a little shine line in the middle, as if it's a sort of silky-ish ribbon, like that. And then I just want to go a little darker. I think we'll use this colour. This is called Indian red. It's actually been renamed as spice red. So if you've got a modern set, you might have it as spice red. I'm just going to get it really sharp. And I'm going to use it to put a little bit of shadow either side of the bow, a knot bit there, and then a little bit under here, just the tiniest detail, like that. You might not want to bother, that's fine. And I also want a little bit of shadow on the dress from the bow. Now what I need is either a really very dark blue or a black. I think, what's that, mulberry? No, I don't have a darker blue than the one I used. So we're going to use the black. Always be careful with black. It's obviously very intense, but I just want a little bit under here and around there a little bit and under here. And it just creates that teeny tiny bit of shadow. And if you're feeling a little bit daring, you can just pop a bit under here and then just bring it in the tiniest bit, just to show that shadow that we're trying to create on the edges of the clothes. Now black is quite intense, it's quite a daring colour to use. I don't tend to use it loads, but it can just make that little bit of a difference like that. I'm not going to do any on the skirt. I still like the idea of the skirt being a little bit lighter, a little bit more delicate. So we're going to leave that there. So there is our very first outfit, excuse me, from our clothing page. I'm going to keep these short. Tomorrow I'm not just going to do the sunglasses, we'll do a few items, but generally if it's a slightly larger item I'm just going to do the one. I just think it's nice to have a little tiny snapshot in the morning, just to keep us, get us warmed up ready for our colouring day. Oh, colouring all day, that'd be lush, wouldn't it? I'm going to have a day of all colouring soon, I've decided. And not recording, not editing, not doing anything on my computer, just colouring. Oh, and think later in the week. Anyway, for now, thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe, and then you'll get notifications of when the next ones are coming out if you want to follow along with this series or any of my other videos. But thank you so much for watching. Have a really lovely day and happy colouring.